with Years of Years, and it's this week in Disney for July 18th to July 24th.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A little bit more July. Great for kids out of school, you know, but oh my goodness. August comes and sports practices and all sorts of activities. It's gone.
Well, I've noticed lots of families on Instagram sharing stuff, and they're just like having that amazing midsummer fun, the late nights. Some parents, you know, with little kids kind of wish their kids were going to bed early.
Right.
I'm kind of missing that, but I love it. I love how it's light outside longer.
And we've been taking advantage of it. I mean, clearly,
nice.
more sun happening here. And, I mean, it really kept us out of the parks last week. We
enjoyed the ocean.
In the ocean.
It was so pretty.
Oh, my goodness. But Food and Wine opening up. We're going to get in this week for all of that festivity.
Have to. We went ahead and let the crowds get in, and now we're gonna head over, and hopefully we won't have to stand in line forever for the things we want to try. But looks like lots of good food and some new things and some old things. So one of my favorites, those Brazilian cheese buns.
Back.
I love those. So
making history another year.
Have to go grab some of those.
but hit us with the history from Disney.
Week. Yeah.
What's going on?
So up first, July 18th, 1932, a Mickey cartoon that I thought you guys would like to check out. It's Mickey Mouse's, or Mickey in Arabia. This is a really cute cartoon.
Arabian Nights.
You're singing already. Okay, so Mickey and Minnie are like vacationing, experiencing like the bazaar.
I know something about that.
You know, shopping, having fun, just really taking in the culture. Yeah. And then along comes Sultan Pete, and he kidnaps Minnie to actually make
Can you blame him? Can you blame him?
Of his harem. Those Arabian Nights are crazy. If you've ever read those tales, all that stuff.
Some text coming from those lands.
But anyway, it's
sutras and such.
There's definitely an interesting camel, and I like the animation with the camel's legs, and it's 1932, so you can imagine it's black and white. And you know, if you're familiar with some of the cartoons we've talked about from the 30s, like that animation style, it's well done. I like it. I like the elements they bring in. So go check it out.
It was pretty popular.
Tell us what you think too. We love to hear your ideas and comments about all these cartoons, and like why do you think they did this one? It's funny with the cartoons, like there wasn't a Wikipedia or like tons of books written like why. At least I haven't read them yet, which I will eventually get to, but why each of the cartoons was made, like the creative decision beside it. There's a storytelling going on, so it's kind of neat to think about.
But we'll just have to appreciate.
They're sitting around and they're like, oh, let's do an Arabian Nights thing. You know, what was going on?
Well, Pulp and Sinbad and popularity of Sinbad in Hollywood, I'm sure inspired it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they even just had lists of things they were planning to do. This one's interesting. Check it out.
I'm sure Sinbad was on the short list.
Yes, but most importantly, this day we all want to remember is the official opening day of Disneyland. And so at the end of last week, we had talked about July 17th. That's when Disneyland usually celebrates Disneyland's opening, but we commemorate Walt and Roy's memory, and they really wanted it to be celebrated on July 18th. So
this is the day.
This is the dedication. Day to party. And so it opened on a Monday. It was nice and humid in California, which is not usually humid. No, probably not. It opened at 10 a.m. and admission cost was $1. So I didn't want to, we've talked about this park opening a couple of times, so I just wanted to concentrate on two people. So first was Dave McPherson. He was a 22-year-old college student, so young guy, from Long Beach, and he was the very first paying guest.
Wow.
Yes. So he did win a lifetime passes to Disneyland.
Amazing.
Which I think is cool because he had waited in line all night to purchase the ticket.
There you go.
So well deserved there. And then the first children to enter the park were cousins, so 3 people. Michael Schwartner at age 7 and Kristen Vess at age 5.
There you go.
And they got to meet Walt Disney, get a picture, also got those lifetime passes. So those two, I mean, who knows? I didn't look it up.
It would be, I mean, it's a private matter for many people, but I would love to know how many people have lifetime passes out there.
There's a few.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
What a privilege. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if privilege is the word, but just such an enjoyable, like,
Yeah, but they got to experience this huge moment in history. I mean, Disneyland opening. That's amazing. Yeah. Nothing like it. So,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Disneyland.
Hurrah, hurrah.
Yay. So, moving on to July 19th, 1934. This is really important, actually. Disney signs a contract with Lionel Corporation to produce a Mickey Mouse wind-up car. So, this company was actually about to go bankrupt, like buckle. Yeah. And so they to
not exist.
They signed this contract.
Well, we're going to your Christmas tree.
It's so widely like
so successful
that they're unable to keep up with demand.
Yeah,
so
saves the
really
company.
Saves the company. So that was really cool.
Mouse saved Lionel.
Yeah, 1934.
How happy Walt must have been with his love of trains that he.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he. Yeah, I mean that he got to do that and save
that. I think in business, like
if he knew it.
I mean, I would think in business, and it does make sense that if you help a company like this and they do so well, that's just added to the energy and the goodness of Disney at the time, you know, helping big. And I'm sure Walt had that perspective, knowing where he came from and having to like sell things just to make it his dreams happen. So this is a cool story. Yeah, for sure.
It's one of the best.
Yeah. So then moving on to...
Like, as good as the Mickey Watch. As good as the Mickey Watch story.
Maybe even better.
Yeah, I think it is because it saved the company.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, moving on to July 20th, 1890. All the way back. Actress Vera Felton is born.
And you know her from a lot.
Okay, but she's born in Salinas, California, so she's from California. She didn't start out
and it's Disneyland.
Necessarily acting, but her father passed away, and you know things got really rough for their family, so that's kind of why she started acting as a young child. But you will know her, before I tell more about her history, you will know her from Disney and you know, animation films, her amazing voice, you know, her voice. So she was in Dumbo, she was the elephant matriarch and Mrs. Jumbo, and then in Cinderella she's the fairy godmother,
of course.
In Alice in Wonderland she's the Queen of Hearts. Then Lady and the Tramp, she's Aunt Sarah.
Born in the 1800s, let's not forget.
1890,
Carry on.
Sleeping Beauty, she's Flora. And then Goliath 2, Eloise.
There you go.
The Jungle Book, Winifred the Elephant. So I just love this sweet lady. I mean, okay, her character, her voice is really iconic, and obviously some of these characters aren't sweet.
Right,
but
the Lady and Tramp.
Talent.
Particularly, and the Queen of Hearts. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So she's a neat, like, talented lady, and
but
she
warm too. Yeah.
Well, she got her start, of course, like, if she was born in 1819, you know she was working with like vaudeville and stage, and she did radio before, so that's why these voice actors are so incredible, because they were on you know, the radio, and they played different characters on the radio. Oh, and then she's also in Hanna-Barbera, the Flintstones. She's Pearl
sister.
Fred Flintstone's mother-in-law. You know. Yeah. So there you go.
I used to get upset at his mother-in-law when I was a little kid.
Yeah, well, Fred's trying. She's got that voice that exudes feeling. Yeah, delivers for sure. But yeah, she definitely, when she started out with performing at the concert house in San Francisco, she was little Verna Felton, the child wonder.
Wow.
So she was a neat character.
How fun.
Yeah. So I just love that. And then she married, guess who she married? Probably from a Disney person.
Just lay it out.
Lay it out, okay. Lee Miller, who is Disney's Pluto, the voice of Pluto.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, they had a son who did acting and stuff as well. So neat. I just think it's so cool. Yeah. She was a neat lady for sure.
Their son does voices in Goof Troop. No, I'm just playing.
Okay, moving on to same day, July 20th, 1955, the Tomorrowland boats, later named the Phantom boats, at Disneyland's Tomorrowland Lagoon open up. So the attraction features 14 brightly painted, gas-powered fiberglass boats. Unfortunately, this is the very first Disneyland attraction to permanently close.
Right.
Yeah, so the boats just weren't up to snuff.
It's weird, but I've actually had people twice at Disney World ask us about the boats around the castle.
There had been this is at Disneyland.
I know.
But you know. But a lot of people ask about those swan boats.
Yes.
Right, which were there.
Can you imagine how much people would celebrate if those came back?
Yeah.
And it was just like a ticketed thing.
Chunked away at that lagoon. Yeah. It's hardly left or even accessible for a ride.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think they've just continued to make more and more space for firework group viewing. But wouldn't it be fun to watch the fireworks from a swan boat?
That would be
pretty amazing. Yeah, that would be nice. But these boats didn't go on so well, but there were plenty other boats at Disneyland to enjoy. Cool. In fact, more than Disney World, there was more.
Happy birthday once again.
Yeah, definitely. Then moving on to July 21st, 1992, the Boiler Room Barbecue, a restaurant at Tokyo Disneyland, opens for business. And I mean, now this is a tiny quick service situation. It only has 2 menu items, at least for the only. There's so little information. I was trying to find the original menu because I was just thinking, did they serve, barbecue?
Right.
Right away? Did they try American cuisine in the 90s?
I don't know.
Or did they go straight to a fusion?
Yeah.
It would just be interesting to know. Please tell me in the comments if you were there in the 90s. I could have been there in the 90s because I lived in Asia in the 90s. But for some reason, I guess because I was in high school, my parents thought, oh, we don't need to go to Tokyo Disneyland. But
certainly
I'm always like, Mom, why didn't we do that?
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, of the food, it's and wondering what it was. I mean, we went out for Korean last week and I had Korean short ribs, right there.
Like the bulgogi.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
really
I mean, I'd be very interested.
Right,
I mean, not
so
Japan
now,
and Korean, but I'm saying it's part,
Yeah, when you go. So the food that they had at the time, I think they're still closed right now. But the food that you could have was this Mickey shape. It's like a bao sort of bun with steamed pork, shredded steamed pork inside. But it's a Mickey Mouse shape. And there's pork in the ears and in the center, and then you could also get a boba tea drink, but that was it. That's all you could get there.
Funny. I don't know how many have seen Thor: Love and Thunder, but
we did see that.
No spoilers, but bao is there, or bao bun is there as a let's say a deity of sorts. That's not enough of a very cool.
It was cute. Actually, really cute. Okay, moving on to July 22nd, 1994. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror attraction opens. Oh my goodness, we are so grateful. It was the first one. It was super awesome.
It's
Obviously,
the Survivor.
It was at MGM-Studios
Honestly,
that it opened.
Yeah.
It was called that at the time in '94, and based off, of course, the show The Twilight Zone with Rod Serling, who's voicing in the attraction.
Indeed, appearing as so. But at the time, like there was articles about it. I even remember my dad like talking to me about it because I think for some reason my dad may have gotten in like to an early thing. Anyway, he was telling me, you wouldn't believe it. They'd used all of this technology and they recreated Rod Serling. I mean, that was like an early like use of that kind of like what people call deep fake now, you know. But like it was an early use of that, like Rod Serling, the first deep fake at Tower of Terror.
It was based off this hotel in Hollywood called the Hollywood Hotel from, you know, it was built in 1929, but of course in this story the hotel is built in 1930, or no, the actual date, not when it's built. It's actually built in 1917. Of course we can never forget that because
I was like, what is going on here? I thought I was in the Twilight Zone for a second. I was like, has it changed?
The plaque is on the wall, and that's the year my grandmother was born. So every time we go by it, I miss her, of course. But anyway, she was born in 1917. The event that happened, of course, was October 31st, 1939. And that's when everything changed for the tower and made it possible for us to have an awesome ride. Just go watch the movie.
You gotta believe. I want to believe.
Yeah.
She does believe. 100%.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't believe. It's so fun. I love the ride, and I just want to say, I am so grateful that we don't get like sick or have issues. So many of our friends cannot do certain rides, like they can't do rides with drops and things, and I feel so bad because it's so fun.
Yes. Nighttime view on Hollywood Studios, full lights, view of Galaxy's Edge.
That's the best.
View of Slinky Dog.
Daytime is fun too. Anytime.
Oh my god.
I love just to hear the screams of the people up there when it opens up and you're near the ride. Like if you're waiting in line over at Rock and Roller Coaster and you're like, the screams. It's so fun. We love it. But we forgot to mention. Sad news. They tore down.
Oh yes.
The Tower of Terror.
You know when you come into Disney World, like it rocks. It hasn't been rocking for a while, but.
I mean, I've only seen it rocking every once in a while.
Yeah, but they tore it down. It's gone. You'll never see it again.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know the story. I don't know if they completely demolished it.
I'm just gonna be positive.
Or if they.
It was just money.
Saved it.
$1,300 a year, and $300 on insurance.
I'd even be happy if some billionaire paid for it to be in their backyard. Like that's better than it being demolished. Please don't let that be the answer. Yeah. But we're not 100% sure.
Moving it somewhere. Maybe it's for like D23 or something like that. Maybe they're moving it somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Let us hope.
Well, I was just like, do we have pictures of that?
Yeah,
we do.
We have video of it.
And we just didn't even know it was going to get torn down all of a sudden. Right. So
just always been there.
Yeah.
She agrees, you.
Oh well. Okay.
So tell us what else is in the past.
July 23rd, 2003. This was an interesting little tidbit of information. This was 2003, so mark the year. The first time that Disney did a commercial for just an attraction at Disney World. So this was for Mission Space, which will begin operating August 15th. So I think I
Who was
kind
the
of
sponsor?
remember.
Does it say? Was it Siemens at that time?
No, it doesn't say this. I don't have the sponsor, but yeah, I thought this was really interesting because I thought maybe they would have done attraction commercials before this, but this was the first time that they did attraction commercials on TV.
Well, they do plenty now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, we wouldn't know. We haven't watched commercials in forever.
But I mean Super Bowl and stuff like that.
Oh,
like
sure.
They definitely, Galaxy's Edge has had a large marketing campaign. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But likewise, we really haven't seen
don't
commercials. Yeah.
No.
All right, moving on to the last day of the week, July 24th, 1966. This was also a cool Disneyland Day. And so I feel like because of this day, just to go back to the point I'm always trying to make, that they were kind of celebrating the actual opening of Disneyland, because this is the day that they opened New Orleans Square. I mean, this was the last event that it was his last public appearance, sadly. But this was exciting. It was the first like land to open without attractions, because Pirates of the Caribbean isn't going to open, or the Haunted Mansion. Those two aren't going to open. They're not quite ready. But there was restaurants and stores, all the stuff. There was Antoinette's Perfumery.
Whoa.
So that was pretty cool. All kinds of shops though, and of course food. And on this day, the Firehouse 5+2,
the boys.
Yep, they were there. Yeah, it was really, really cool. And of course Walt was there, so that made it extra special, and a good day to remember for, you know, that was the last big event that he got to support, was New Orleans Square opening. Yeah. So anyway, the festivities included the real mayor of New Orleans, hopefully Victor Shiro.
Okay.
Was there. That was kind of neat. I think Walt Disney really loved New Orleans.
Oh, well,
so that makes sense why he'd invite the mayor to come over and help open New Orleans Square. So that's really cool. And then moving on to 1985. I knew this is our last topic and probably your favorite. Walt Disney's 25th animated feature film, The Black Cauldron.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is a strange one for me because I have no, like, you know, biases or no complaints about it at all. To me, it was very exciting. I anticipated it coming out as a kid.
Yeah.
Had the paperback.
The Lord Alexander's Chronicles of Predane, right?
I don't. Who knows how to pronounce it, because I've never had it pronounced for me. So.
Oh, okay. So the film doesn't.
Parodin, if I remember right. Parodin. Yeah.
The film doesn't quite totally follow the books to a T.
I think it borrows from other books too.
Well, and this was a time period when
other books in the series.
I think big changes were happening, and it was, you know,
strong Don Bluth contributions on this one. I mean, I really looked forward to this. I mean, you have like, you know, Rankin and Bass, The Hobbit, and The Lord of the Rings at the time. Disney did kind of need to make this move into this genre. They kind of had moved with like Black Hole into like the Star Wars genre, and they needed to like tackle fantasy, and I was really looking forward to it. Like, I think there's a lot of reasons it wasn't successful, and it doesn't have to do with the story itself.
No, it's a great story. The books are great, and this was something that Ron Miller was the CEO at the time. But this is a transition time.
Yeah, someone's arriving.
Film. You have Michael Eisner coming in to take over, and then Katzenberg. He actually comes in and starts chopping away at it, and I think that's a lot to do why it wasn't as much like the books, and it wasn't as good as it was gonna be. There's just a lot of like directions that were taken.
A film that was weaponized against like old guard like animators in the process to like shame and dismiss them, you know. And a movie paid a price.
Unfortunate. You know, big companies do these kind of things, and obviously this has happened with the Disney company. So.
Or people desiring to fill big shoes.
So I mean, you know it, like, you know, lots of things can, you go to the film as just a viewer, and you're kind of like, well, why isn't that as great as I thought it would be? And I could say that about some recent films. And then you kind of look at the company and some of the decisions being made, and you're like, well, come on, let's just be creative. Let's make this good and stop chopping away at people's creativity and their ability to make a good film, you know? Yeah. It's hard when you see a good director and the whole group involved are fantastic and it just still doesn't turn out and you're wondering who got involved and chopped away at things and
it's
made
kind of,
it that way.
It's kind of like, you know, making paper. You know, you cut down so many trees, you got to start like planting them. You know, I guess you cut down so many dreams, you got to go make a company to like make dreams again. Call it DreamWorks.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an opinion for sure. But this is a movie we do love, and we love, I mean, you guys know, if you've been following us along, we enjoy the fantasy and all of that. And
so much. And the Black Cauldron. Thank you, Disney.
Sure. It was a good film. But that is it for this week in Disney. Lots going on, some sad things, but you know, the opening of Disneyland, that's really exciting. And some cool people who have made Disney what it is, and it's good to commemorate them and go learn more yourself for sure, and tell us in the comments what you guys think. We love to hear from you always, and that's it. And we'll see you guys next time.